next. A string of awareness-raising events are taking place around the world this Wednesday to mark the UN's International Migrants Day. This year, the event focuses on social cohesion as 272 million migrants try and build a new life in their chosen destination. For more on this Global Migrant Day, I'm joined now by Anne-Diandra Louan from France 24's Info Migrant team. Thank you for coming in to talk to us. Now, 2 years ago, that shocking video, of course, filmed by CNN journalists went viral around the world, showing slave auctions in Libya. How has the situation improved 24 months on?
So we know that around 660,000 migrants are currently present in Libya. Among them, the UN estimates that at least 4,500 refugees are in detention centers in deplorable conditions that have been documented already, such as overcrowded cells, lack of hygiene, lack of food, and lack of water. So right after the release of the CNN report, the UNHCR set up a program to evacuate the migrants that are eligible for international protection, which means asylum as opposed to economic migrants, for instance. Most of the time, these eligible migrants are sent to UN centers in Niger or in Rwanda. They wait there for their resettlement in a host country, including EU countries. But clearly, this is a drop in the bucket. And today, we can easily say that the situation is worsening for migrants in Libya, especially since April, when Commander Haftar started the offensive to try to seize the capital city, Tripoli. So these clashes had a huge impact on, and still have a huge impact on migrants on a daily basis. They really feel threatened. They find themselves in the middle of a conflict, and there's a growing feeling of insecurity. And there's a good example, actually. It was early July. You probably remember the bombing of the Tajura detention center. It's just outside Tripoli that left at least 50 people dead and 130 injured. And this feeling of insecurity could be even stronger in the next few days, because the UNHCR just announced that they will shut down their services by the end of this month, their services for housing and food distribution at the GDF Center, which is the UNHCR center in Tripoli.
Now, in your view, could this situation lead to an increase in the number of departures from Libya to Europe on these very fragile boats?
Mm-hmm. Well, there was definitely a spike in terms of departures over the summer because of the nice weather, and also because of the fightings were intensifying around Tripoli. But these figures have nothing to do with what we've seen for the past few years. To give you an example, the number of arrivals to Italy from Libya decreased drastically from 100,000 in 2017 to 13,000 in 2018. And this year is just 1,000 migrants for the first part of 2019. So we believe that this drop is explained by the 2017 controversial agreements between the EU, Libya, and Italy, an agreement that provides funding and training for Coast Guard, so they can directly intercept migrants at sea and then take them back into detention centers. It's a multi-million agreement, and it works. It's been extended last October, and the Coast Guard said they've been intercepted at least 5,000 migrants this year alone.
But still, a certain number of migrants do manage to fall through the cracks and land up here in Europe, in particular those who are rescued from humanitarian ships in the Mediterranean. And on this front, there have been big changes too.
Yeah, so the big news here is that the pre-agreement that was signed in Malta in September, before the pre-agreement, you remember that as soon as a humanitarian ship would rescue migrants at sea, they would have to stay at sea forever, like for days and days and weeks. The NGO on one hand would ask the government to welcome the refugees, and the government on the other side would just ignore the request or simply refuse. Just in Italy in particular, had a really strong policy against migrants. They closed the ports. They also started legal actions to immobilize the ships. But now with this pre-agreement, there's almost no waiting at sea. It's just a few days tops, but it's still far from addressing the whole issue here, because it only concerns Malta, France, Germany, and Italy. And now the goal is to extend it to more countries, EU countries, especially Greece, that is in the front line of migrants' arrivals.
Okay, and Diandra Luan from France 24's Info Migrant team, thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Now, on International Migrant Day, today